Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Apollo Alinda, and I work with Breeze Agrosafaris as an agri consultant. Today, we are talking basically about beekeeping and the effects of climate change on our golden sector. To begin with, I'm going to talk about the importance of bees, where we are looking at different kinds of importances, and one of them is pollination. We are well aware that pollination and bees is one of the best combination that one must have for for a farmer to realize higher yields in terms of production, especially for those who have coffee, apples, pawpaws, matoke. It helps in pollination. Also, it looks at protecting our biodiversity, whereby we see more of trees being planted, we see more of pollination, and in that we see more multiplication of the trees and other nature of things. It also improves on food production, like I said, pollination. It means that our bees are able to increase our food production in terms of pollination, and then the final production is increased. Then another is indicator of environmental health, whereby if you ever see a bee in a particular area, it shows that our environment is good to live in, because by nature, bees do not live in areas that are so toxic. So this could be used as an indicator that our environment is really uh, supportive and good for our environment and good for our health. We have this global food security being promoted by the bees, whereby, of course, when food production is increased, then probably, or in the end, we are seeing more food being produced and people having what to eat, hence having a higher chance of food secure in most of the families. And of course, we can't forget the medicinal part of our bees, whereby they provide us with products such as propolis, such as honey, that we use in our bodies in everyday life, especially for those who have flu, cough, ulcers. All these products are good in that they help them to regain one of their lost cells, especially for those who use bee venom. Of course, money can never be left out in anything that we do. And so in this, we are seeing that as we get products from bees, that is the honey, the propolis, we of course sell. And as we sell, we get money. And as we get the money, it means that our economies in terms of family household is increased. Of course, one would ask, what is sustainable beekeeping? Sustainable beekeeping, that is also, you can term it as apiculture, which looks at managing bee colonies in a way that meets the needs for honey and other bee products, but we do it ensuring that there is a longevity in terms of the health and productivity of the populations, and of course, as well as protecting our ecosystems in which our bees are always living. So, in a nutshell, sustainable beekeeping would really look at that holistic and environmental conscious approach that we could consider for the well-being of the bees, the surrounding environment, and of course the social and economic aspects of beekeeping communities. Of course, the principles, of course, one would never or can never forget to talk about the environment. As we do beekeeping, one of the principles is we should be looking at the environment. And second principle is that we should look at the health and welfare of our bees. Of course, not forgetting the biodiversity, conservation, then treating our bees in a way that we are not killing them. We should not kill our bees. So that's why during harvesting, during any kind of uh, interaction with the bees, we must be you know gentle onto our bees because we don't want them to die because maybe of our activities. Another principle is we should also engage our communities and educate them the importance of having bees on their farms. And in that, we shall have more people entering into beekeeping. But then also, as people enter more into beekeeping and educated, that means they'll be able to now restore or be able to look at the environment in a positive way of not destroying it. They will plant more trees. And of course, in the recent past, we have had more people complaining about pesticides being killing our bees. But then the principle is we should employ integrated pest management on our farms, where we use different kinds of methods in order to control pests, not necessarily relying on these uh, herbicides or inorganic chemicals that in the end kill our bees. So those are some of the principles that we should always look at in beekeeping. Of course, like my friend said, he talked about climate change, but according to UN, climate change is a long-term shift in temperatures and, of course, weather patterns, which come into or are the result of change in the sun's activity or volcanic eruptions. But since the 1980s, we've seen human activities being one of the most drivers of climate change, primarily due to burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. So, as humans, we've been able to or have contributed more to climate change. We've cut down the trees, we've done deforestation, we've done bush burning, we've done all sorts of activities, and all these are denaturing our environment, and of course, increasing on the climate change perseverance of our communities. Of course, the impact has been felt because we have seen a shift in the blooming periods of our plant species. We've also seen a mismatch between pollination and floral food sources, whereby as climate change increases, we see a change in seasons of different plants, meaning that our bees will not have, of course, what to eat, and in the end, we shall lose a significant amount of bee populations, which is also not our case. We need to, be able to look after our bees in a good manner and be able to, get the best out of them. The specific challenges for beekeeping is we have, of course, like I said, the change in patterns of flowering, of course, the disruptions in pollination cycles. Pests and diseases have also increased, especially, of course, there are some pests that always come in seasons, maybe because it is raining too much, we get more, especially now, like the wax months, which usually comes to attack our bees. Of course, the beetles, all the challenges that are into bees. Of course, the change in behavior of our flowers in flowering. All this has affected our beekeeping. Of course, we'd want to get what do we do on our farms, in our countries, how best can we adapt, which strategies should we use. Of course, we have to have resilient beekeeping practices whereby we should engage and be able to understand which best practice works for our regions. Of course, integrate technology in what we do, maybe to forecast what will happen in the future. And of course, the government and different organizations, communities are coming together to collaborate in order to have this sector or this venture to have solutions that are tangible. And of course, to end with, I'll have this quotation: in the world of beekeeping, every bee is a tireless worker, and every drop of honey is a testament. It's a testament to the collective effort of a community, of course, that is dedicated to the sweet alchemy of turning flowers into gold. What it means is that bees work tirelessly every day and night to make sure they get the best from the flowers and process uh, what they get from the flowers to get for us honey. So that's what it means. Uh, Thank you very much and have a good evening.